What's up, guys? So this interview that you're about to see is with Herschel Dixon, who is a serial entrepreneur based in Southeast Asia. And he's going to talk about how he started multiple businesses and the mindset really that it takes to get to where you need to go, from like going from nothing to having something. So just tune in, tap in and listen, and get your notebook out because he's going to drop a lot of gems throughout it. When you being like such a creative person, right? And I know that's what I know from knowing you and talking to you and stuff. Like, how do you stay focused on one thing? You know, because I know one struggle for people is they try to do this, they try to do that, they try to like have all their hands in every basket.
Right.
So
man, that's a great question, bro. Because for one, like it took me a minute to get to it because being an entrepreneur, you want to do so much. Right, and you feel like you can conquer the world with whatever it is that you're doing, and so it's like, okay, but you look at so many different opportunities, and if you about something, like you're not focused and you're not concentrated on that one thing, you can be easily distracted. So it's like, for me, I like to stay focused on one thing because the whole way I see it, it's like, okay, if I can master one thing, you know, that's my foundation. Because like if I don't have my foundation, then it's hard for me to build and start from anywhere else. You know what I mean? So like for me, it goes, you got to start with impact, okay? But if I like whomever I'm impacting or whatever I'm trying to impact, it's got to derive from like that reason, and that reason impact has to be in line with my principles, and my principles has to be in line with who I am, and like whatever I do essentially is reflecting it's me. It's like my personality. That's who I am, my core. So go all the way down in my work. Right. It's a part of me, and you only getting a part of me, and I feel like that being translated in my business and my work is the authentic side of myself, and that's what I feel like people attract to, and that's what people like essentially would like. You know what I mean? Right. I think like focusing on those three things for me has allowed me to always stay in line with what I want to do and how I want to do it, and I don't allow anything that's outside of that. I don't want to be connected to it energetically. Mentally, anything, because it's gonna completely sidetrack me, and then I don't have that much control as maybe I do if I'm controlling my own lane and I stay locked in on what I'm supposed to do, or at least what I feel drawn to do or called to do. You know what I mean? And I only feel called to do that is because like intrinsically it's making me want to do it. It's speaking to me. I feel it emotionally, like it makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like I said, like those three things, that's kind of like how I line up, and I separate the things that like some people, because I used to be that guy. Like I had my mom sit me down one day, like, "Yo, you doing too much. Like, what you doing, fam? Like, you want to do X, you want to do Z. Like, bro, you get pulled to so many different projects, and being in marketing, you just don't know, bro. Like, you could have so many different niches. But I can tell anybody, like, the most success I've had is when I've sat there and I really like stuck it out with one lane. You know what I'm saying? And then like through the ups and the downs, once you get that one lane good, it's like, okay, now I'm a master at this. I can impact more over here if I wanted to touch that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know who you are first and allow that to like shine through your work and everything else. Yeah.
And so like, what is some of those principles that you got?
So some of my principles that I have, I mean, okay, so for one, it's giving back. So that's like my biggest thing, right? So like I had this whole principle that this may sound cliche, but like, you know, I want to leave the world a better place, and I found it, right? So I feel like we all share a common cause, and no matter what we do, and I feel like we're all called here on earth, and we're all blessed with this blessing to be here, and it's to help the next person up. And if we're not doing that through our gift, then we're not shining bright enough. And I feel like in order for us to allow that to shine through, we got to first know who we are, and then we allow that to kind of like blossom into the person that we want to be, so we can help the person that God intended us to. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of my principles, because one of my biggest fears is not being able to allow myself to get there to help the person that needs that blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're only here to be a blessing to other people. So if my work or if my things is not guiding me to impact a certain, just helping people in general, I mean, like, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, think about it, bro. You own a business, I own a business. You have different business ownerships. Everybody has either a product or a service. If it's not solving the problem or helping the person, they ain't really getting nowhere. If they is, it's not gonna last that long.
Right.
But overall, the ones that change the world is like helping a lot of people solve a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So if we understand how we can help each other on a mass scale, I think overall that's gonna eventually like set us up for success and help us down the line and make our lives so much more easier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that's my core principle, man. That's why like I started with Impact. But yeah, and other than that, man, it's just faith, you know. And faith sounds so simple, but for me it's everything, because it took me a minute to really understand that until you're faced with the actual like things in your life and you have no other like option or no other where to go, then you have to call on like a higher power and whatever you believe in to help you understand like, okay, like I can't do this alone.
Right.
But I'm wise enough knowing that, okay, like I'm doing the right thing and this is gonna work out for me. I just need to do what I have to do, you know what I'm saying, to make it come true. And I mentioned this to you earlier. It's so powerful in what you ask for and how you go about it, because me personally, I feel like anything I ask for, I receive. I may not get it right then and there, but I eventually get it, you know, and that's why I'm very intentional about what I want out of life. But we all have, like, whatever we are, wherever we are, like we created this entire environment, our situation. This is us at our core, whether you believe it or you don't. You know, this is what you wanted in one way, shape, or form. So it's just like the best way to, like, you know, combat that is be more intentional about how you live in your day-to-day life, and just allow that to kind of like become who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And be that person you aspire to be. You know what I'm saying? That kind of leads me to like my last principle is that I started a nonprofit, and it was always, again, helping people, but it was I wasn't seeing the example that I wanted to see be affected in the way that I wanted to affect young boys, right? So what I'm saying is, it's like I had to put myself out there to essentially create and be the change that I wanted to kind of like partake in, that I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? When I was looking out, it was like 2017. I wanted to become a mentor, like about like, you know, you mentor young boys. I like the mentorship. I think mentorship is how you know push it forward, living life. This is what we're supposed to do. It's how we're supposed to live. And mentorship changed my life. You know, I have several mentors, but I feel like it's a lack in our community because it's there, but it's in all its different shapes and forms. I just want to be more intentional with it, right? And the nonprofit was young boys, you know, 4th and 5th grade young boys. I partnered with the Boys and Girls Club, and you know, we talked about everything up under the sun. Nothing really educational, but more so just like how to be a man. You know, these are all young boys born out of wedlock, right? And then, you know, they all brown and black boys in Texas. So it was just like, okay, let's one, how are we gonna impact these young kids, right? Let's two, how are we gonna show them who they can be, and they're not limited to everything the world tells them that they are. And then 3 is more like, you know, okay, you can aspire, you can be the change. If you don't see it out there, don't shy away from it. Just take it upon yourself to make it happen and create that lane for yourself. Because what we put on our hearts and what we feel desire to do, it ain't for somebody else to know. That's for us. And at the end of the day, I feel like if you're brave enough to create that own lane for yourself, you can do anything you want to do. And that was for me. That was the way I kind of. That's what my example was my nonprofit. Yeah, and it was cool, man. It was like one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. You know what I'm saying? And that was.
How do you get to that place of being a mentor? I know that, like, for me, one thing that kept holding me back in the past was like getting out of that fear mentality of like even when I started to make money, I was like scared of losing it, and I feel like it was real hard to detach from. Yeah. So like, you know, how do you even gather that confidence to be that mentor?
Yeah, man. No, I think experience, honestly. I think experience and confidence from your other mentors, you know, you don't know a mentor really until you understand the role that someone's playing in your life. Last time we had a conversation, you asked and you was like, you ever had like an uncle or somebody that you just kind of like looked at that was always giving you them OG, advice just about life, that hit you with some heavy shit just out of nowhere? And I think like over time, in the moment, you like, that's just doing this thing.
Right.
But looking back on it, it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? I heard that same thing from my professor, and it hit different, but this was what Uncle's talking about the whole time. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I feel like subconsciously, I feel like we know who our mentors are. Right. I feel like when you really get to a level, you seek out certain mentors, and you want to be around a certain community, and you want to be around a certain people to seek that information, because information is gold. But for me, finding a way to be comfortable and being a mentor is just seeing and knowing that, okay, like I have the confidence, I feel like I have value to provide. And if I'm passionate about helping the next person up, then I have to do that in whatever way I see fit. It may not be the best way, but at least I know like it's in line with my purpose, my impact, and I'm trying to be the person who I want to be, who I feel to be, who I aspire to be, And so yeah, man, I think mentorship is just so critical, and we all of us have to have it, because if we don't, I feel like there's no real guidance, and the more we have it, the better. Because for better or worse, it's gonna be there, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you got gangs, that's influence, that's mentors. You know what I'm saying? When you go to college, you got professors, those are mentors, bro. Your 5 friends, believe it or not, in one way, shape, or form, they're your mentors, bro. Whatever they telling you, that big bro you got, he's your mentor. I'm the oldest of 4 boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I take that responsibility. So naturally it comes on, it's like, okay, like I want to, show them the way, learn from my mistakes. I want you to be better than where I was. You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, if you take heed to it and you listen to it, cool, then you'll see the results. But if you don't, that's all right. That's up to you. Yeah. But we gotta take that first step and let them know first. You feel me? It's like, why would you sit here and know? You know what I mean? Like what the advantages of maybe real estate or something else can change for somebody's life, and you got a little bro right there with a clear opportunity at 23 years old to do it, but you didn't start till you was like 27, and you like, damn, I wish I would have started at 23, and little bro looking at you for everything. It's like, who am I to keep that away from him? And I think that's our duty. You don't gotta be mentor is the correct word, but I mean just sharing that knowledge is how we help the next brother up. And again, it all goes back to that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if it ain't about helping the next person up, I feel like it'll fall. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro.
I think it's like easy. It's like super easy to get distracted from whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And I know that like there's people that they might be your friends or family or whatever, but they distract you, whether you like it or not. And they don't mean anything by it, but they do distract you. They might try to have you go out with them. They may try to have you do whatever, and they don't mean nothing by it. And like a lot of times it's cool, but when you're trying to get somewhere, like you need to surround yourself around like-minded individuals. And I think that like when you focused on what you want, like say for instance for me right now it's just videos and traveling, and now those people that make videos and travelers just keep coming around me. And I think that we almost like permeate this energy when we're thinking about those things all the time. Yeah. For instance, like how we linked up from hooping, right? Like all I was thinking about was hooping. And then you meet those people that like to hoop too, and are like entrepreneurs, and then we end up linking up. Yeah. So I think that, and that's one big thing. And I think also just looking at people's characteristics. Like sometimes some people just, you feel good around them, you know what I mean? And like those people probably make you feel good because they're happy. They may be doing what you want to be doing. Yeah. And they want to be around you too because you probably make them feel good. So I think just gravitating towards those people that make you feel good, and if the ones that don't make you feel good, just cut them out instead of like letting it linger on. Because I know a lot of times we like, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or something, but at the end of the day, they probably will be alright even if you leave them. So yeah, what about you?
Man, I think I feel like at first when I first like realized, the power of that statement, like you are the 5 people you keep around, I think I was I didn't look at it, I didn't take it that serious. But I think over time, with experience, you start looking back on your life and more so your habits. You start to see the difference, and you start to see like, okay, when you look around, what is really going on,
right.
you know? And if it's like, okay, if I want to elevate, every time I want to elevate, I got to isolate.
Right.
And then once I sit back, I got to see what else is out there. And if that's not in the people that's in my circle, then it's a problem, you know? And then again, like we all share something.
Right.
You know, that's what we all bonded on in the first place. Whatever that may be, you know, for men, we got all type of things, and, you know, we all bond on certain things. But for the most part, we homies, we bonded from something.
Right.
The core, that is something. But if the core ain't helping the next person up, or we can't, you know, benefit from each other in a certain way, then okay, like I gotta not find other people to benefit from, but essentially like people that's gonna help inspire what it is that I am trying to put out into the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's not, again, I always tell this, it's like it's not that we can't do it.
Right.
It's the fact that we just can't see it.
Right.
And the only reason we can't see it is because we're just not allowing ourselves to. When you're around a certain amount of people, and if it's blocking that, whatever blessing or whatever push through you're trying to have, you got to change that environment, change your surroundings, and allow whatever's meant for you to come through. Because once it comes through, you know, only you gonna walk through that. You know, those are the 5 that's with you ain't going. That's not meant for them.
Right.
You feel me? So if it's not meant for them, okay, but I'm going through this door and I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
Right.
But you need those 5 people around you to help you be aware of what it is,
right.
to help you get to that door. And if I don't have that inspiration, if I don't have that impact, and I don't have that collective just energy around me, it's gonna be real hard, bro.
Yeah. And them people, I feel like, and the people inspiring you around you too, right? Because I feel like a lot of times, like you could tell sometimes if you just doing you hanging out with your boys and they really ain't inspiring you, that's probably a good sign that like you should switch something up. You know what I mean? Because like even when I'm hanging out with you and the ideas you throw out, like, and you talking about going to see these villagers or whatever, but that's inspiring me. It makes me think. It makes me want to create. Sure. Even like when you hit me up to like, let's sit down and let's do another interview. Like that inspires me. It makes me think in a creative term. And I think that those people that really inspire you and push you in different ways just keep gravitating towards them. Yeah.
But I think like there's an art to that, you know. And again, I think like so. I think that's what I'm trying to kind of get to when I'm talking to you, because again, man, like, you know, your spirit is magical, bro, but I feel like you've done something to harness a certain aura about yourself, and a lot of people can't necessarily get to that point without self-practice and discipline. So I think that's what I'm most interested in understanding about you and how you arrive at becoming the person you are and so clear on where you want to go, you know, because that doesn't happen by accident. You feel me? And if it does happen, you've done something to help create that. You get what I mean? So I think that's what I'm trying to essentially like ask you and understand.
And I think that what it is quiet in your mind. You said it like solitude, right? For you. And I think that when you quiet your mind, you can kind of see and hear or like feel people moving you with their energy, right? Or you can almost feel that like you don't supposed to be doing something. You can listen to yourself, but if you can't listen to yourself, then everything around you is just probably cloudy. So I think that for me, like every day I focus on clearing my mind from meditating, from ice baths or whatever it is. And I feel like from that, then I notice what do I want to do, you know, like not what everybody else want to do, like what do I want to do.
Facts.
And then sometimes I notice that like some people want to do a certain thing, and then I don't really want to do it, but I might gravitate towards it because I want to make them happy or whatever it is. And then I feel like from that point you really realize like what's important to you, and then that may be something that I do to surround myself around more people that are aligned with doing things that I want to do and getting to places I want to go. And it's, you know, where I want to travel, and I meet other travelers that are like-minded and really like, once again, like inspire me. And I think it, like you said, it is art to like just being yourself, right?
Straight up.
It sounds so like cliche or whatever, but like just when you be yourself and you doing your thing, good people will come around you, you know, great experiences happen, like you start meeting, doing things that you never thought you would do before, and you start inspiring other people to just be themselves, and everything just works, you know. Man. But it takes some time to definitely get to that place, like a lot of unwiring, you know, like And I think that every day when you have a mission where you wake up to try to be better and just like self-mastery, I think that you're on the right like path to success. Yeah,
that's real, bro.
Yeah, I think that's a formula though, low key. Like I don't even think it's that deep. I think that the more we're ourselves and the more we just do us and be more comfortable and uncomfortable with situations, like the more everything works out in our favor.
Where do you think people get lost in themselves?
Man, from listening to other people, like, and not believing in their confidence. Like, for instance, like, I know when I was younger, sometimes when I used to play football and stuff, I used to listen to other people about how I should do certain things, like, almost cheat, right? Like, when I was in football, like, it was some dudes that I was hanging out with, and they was, like, cheating in practice.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, like, something I can get away with, but you can't really cheat in life, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that, I think from that.
I feel you. No, that makes sense, bro. That makes a lot of sense.
100%.
Do you think like people, you said, by the influence of others, that's how you can lose yourself or find yourself.
Yeah.
Do you feel like some people who kind of just continue to, for lack of terms, lose themselves or go down that route is because they're scared of who they can become?
Yeah, sometimes, or maybe not fully believing in their powers or not understanding how powerful they are, right?
Yeah.
Like I know sometimes people may be thinking they're like, yo, I need to do this thing, especially like if you're from the hood or something, like they think they need to go down a certain pathway, but in reality they may think something sweet over there and they can do or accomplish something, but maybe they might think that like that ain't really for them, or it's gonna take a whole bunch of work or whatever to get there. Maybe not a lot of people make it to the NBA, but there's some boys out there that really believe that they can do it because maybe they got some great mentors around them.
Right.
And I think it's easy to like not understand your power, but doing research on it, like just where you come from, asking questions like, why is this way? Why am I this way? Why can't I do this? Why can't I feel like I can do this or accomplish this thing? And maybe like even researching that, they realize that it is possible to do those things they thought was difficult, like traveling or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then having those influences, right? Like, and realizing that if someone else can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah. But like that someone, like how important is that someone? You talked about mentorship, you talked about guidance and influence, but I think like what's the main thing like that someone or that something like has to have essentially for us to like gravitate towards?
I think they have to have what you want and have been where you want to go, right?
Yeah,
or like they've been where you've been and they have what you want. Say it don't even have to be anybody, like something like say if you want some Jordans, I don't know, and somebody that has been where you've been, they didn't have no money and they got the Jordans, like, and they have what you want and they've been exactly where you've been. You talk to them, they probably teach you how to get it for a discount and how to make money to get it. And I feel like everything in life works that way. I feel like and that's what mentors, like sometimes people like, it don't matter what it is. If you're trying to lose weight, if you got lupus, whatever it is, somebody has been where you've been and is where you want to be. So if you listen to that person, the chances are you will get to that place too. Exactly. And I think that if we dumb everything down to that level, it'll like life becomes a lot sweeter.
Yeah. Nah, I agree, man. I agree wholeheartedly, straight up. Nah, for real, bro. Because I just, it's I think for me, like I don't like when I hear or see people put limits on their own capabilities that they don't even know they already have. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you want to go somewhere, but you feel like you can't. The only reason you feel like you can't is just because you haven't been yet, or you don't know somebody that's already been. Just like you said, and I think that's the most like agitating thing because you want to see everybody flourish in their own right. Whatever that may be. You know what I'm saying? I think the biggest part though is, having somebody look like you, it definitely helps because it's just like when you ask a 5-year-old black boy, what's he want to be when he grow up? His answer, I want to go to the NFL, the NBA. Why? Because at recess, he faster than all the white kids. But then you ask him if he want to be a doctor, he might look at you funny. Right? Because he's quote unquote got discouraged about the grades he's getting compared to his, peers. But I feel like that social like influence is only what the media portrays and what we kind of put on ourselves.
Straight up.
And, you know, and again, those are limiting our own capabilities. I feel like we can be whoever we want to beyond our wildest imagination as long as we allow ourselves to get there.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where mentorship comes a big part in, is that having a person in align with your goals, where you want to go, how you feel, being able to talk to, knowing that, okay, like, even if you don't feel good, it's okay not to feel good, but don't lose track of sight of where you want to go, because best believe, like, you know, you can get there.
Right.
It's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? But sometimes we give up before our time is actually hit.
Right.
But every dog got his day, so it's just like, I don't know, man. That's the whole purpose of correct mentorship, absolute mentorship, understanding that, yo, okay, like, if I'm gonna do this, and I know I want to do this.
Right.
Like, I feel like this is for me, you know. But I feel like sometimes, bro, like, you need that person that believes in you just a little bit more than you believe in yourself.
Straight up.
You know, I always say, like, you know, if it's okay to rent somebody else's belief to get you through that door that you was meant to go through, you know, and because that's what you need sometimes to get you over that hump. And because after a while, yeah, man, hard things happen. Hardships happen, you know, and you probably have valid excuses as to why you shouldn't be, you know, where you aspire to be, you know, and that's why you need, you know, the power of somebody that you look up to, or that you know, look at for advice. Kind of just, they have that light, so when they say something, it hit different versus when someone else say it.
Is it something that, like, you have in your arsenal that you feel like this one thing, like learning this one skill, can like take somebody to the next level?
Gratitude. Gratitude. Gratitude to me is the most powerful thing any man and woman can have. We understand gratitude. We all possess it, so it's all within us. We all don't use it to our benefit, but a part of us will use it subconsciously and consciously. I feel like it's the biggest life hack that there is. Understanding how to use gratitude, leverage gratitude, and give it for your own benefit can change your life. I know it can. I practice it. I've done it, and it's all at the center of practicing love. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason for me not to be grateful for where I'm at. There's no reason why I can't be like grateful for everything I have, you know, every single day. And that's like, it goes all the way back to just being in present moment, understanding where we are, who we are, and being okay with that. Right? Take the job, take the money, take the situation, take everything away, and just be. That's enough. And when you can finally be okay with that, then that's when you know you're exercising a level of gratitude that a lot of people don't know how. But that single-handedly, like anything I've done, anything I've accomplished, anywhere I've been, anywhere I'm going, is all for just, I'm thankful, bro. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for
and it helps you. And it helps you get to like a place of like when you're grateful, you feel good about everything,
bro,
right?
Everything. It's like this, bro. If you come to the crib every day, right, and you looking, you want a cookie or something like that, and but every time you get that cookie, you say thank you. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. You can have as many cookies as you want. You know what I mean? From a simple thank you. But if you come into the crib every day and you ain't saying nothing, it's only gonna be so many cookies I'm gonna try to get you. You're like, hey, I paid for that. I want some cookies too. So it's like, I think that's a silly example, but I'm just saying, like, that's how I view gratitude. It's like if our guy is looking at you and he's giving you all of this stuff. He's giving you this body. He's giving you the limbs, the spirit, this mind, this body, everything for you to live, right? And you can't give and you can't portray a simple act of gratitude, and you can't show how grateful it is just to be here, just so you understand you alive. You got the day. Anything you think you can accomplish, the biggest blessing is you're here. So now you go ahead and do what you want to do. You know what I mean? But it starts with you. It starts with understanding, like, I'm good right here, and whatever else is going to come after that, okay, I'll react to that later. But can't nothing break this temple that I have right here, only because I built this up. You know, like, I was chosen. I'm grateful for this opportunity. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah, man, nothing to me compares to gratitude. I don't care what nobody. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that have a lot of different principles,
Right.
a lot of different stuff, a lot of different
Gratitude gotta
practices.
be up there.
Man, look, I think everything starts with that. If you want to know, I feel like how to get ahead and do certain things and to make your life easier, start with writing down or saying 10 things you're grateful for every single day. That changed my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for what I have and for whatever's coming.
Right.
Every single day, bro. Every day. Why would you not get more?
Right.
You want to live a life in abundance, be grateful for what you got around you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Say it's a kid, he's mad grateful, right? But he feel like things not working out in his favor.
Right.
Like he just like things just like people around him keep dying. I don't know what it is. Like things are just hard. Like but he want to be out here in Bali. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what is it? Do you think that really gets you out of that position, right? Like you got gratitude, right? You thankful for the things that's happening around you.
Yeah.
But like pair it with what else? Like what is it that really gets you to that next level?
Yeah. Great question, bro. Visualization. Honestly, with no question, without even thinking about
like
it.
knowing what you want, huh?
Yeah, knowing what you want. So you gotta start with this. So like, you said he wants to come to Bali. So it's just like, if you know you want to get to Bali, and you know you want to get somewhere, and you have like this idea of what that looks like, okay, well you need to become, I think, damn near obsessed with the idea of making it happen. I think you need to be, so consistent on the fact that you're going to do something so crazy that like only you can really believe that you want to do it, right? You're grateful. You understand like, okay, like I'm where I need to be, so I'm at peace with who I am and where I'm at. But I want to get there. And if I can get there, I just got to bring myself there before it happens. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what we've all done subconsciously, whether we was doing it or not. We all did it. We all saw ourselves here. We've all seen ourselves traveling the world in one shape or form. We've attracted these people into our lives one way or another. You wanted to create. You've had this feeling inside you. You just had to get it out in one way, shape, or form.
Right.
I used to always ask them, like, I don't know what I want to do.
Right.
I just know I want to be successful. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I just know I feel like I want to impact the world. I don't know who I want to help. I just know I want to help a lot of people and do the right thing in the most beautiful, blessing way I possibly can. You feel me? So it's just like, but it ain't up for me necessarily to know the answer, because you ain't got to have all the answers. But if you know where you want to go, let's visualize and let's start there and let's work towards that, and we can reverse engineer backwards. But it's just pick it, just whatever it is you want to do, pick that. Visualize that, and you gotta, like I said, be obsessed. Damn near, like really, like your habits gotta be around it. Your day-to-day activity gotta be around it. The way you eat, like simple things. You want to be damn near to the point where you feel like you're already there. You know what I mean? Like people think you're crazy. It's like hopping in a Honda, but you want a Lambo. But every time you get in your Honda, you riding that joint like you already in the Lambo.
Right.
Man, that's a crazy guy right there. But I guarantee you, fam probably got it maybe 2, 3, 5 years from later. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, anything that you attract on that frequency is going to happen. It's going to come through to you one way, shape, or form, But you got to start with gratitude, because if you get obsessed with this visualization and it's not happening for you on the time you think it's going to happen for you, you're going to drive yourself crazy because you're not happy with where you at right now. You feel me? And this is why I say gratitude is the biggest thing, because it starts there. And then once you take that, and then boom, you can go ahead. No matter what happened from that point forward, you already got the faith in knowing that it's gonna come true for you, bro.
Straight up. But yeah, I think that like what you said is just on point, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Straight up, like people really got to prioritize their gratitude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I also think that like for that kid, they need to like really get uncomfortable with being comfortable. Like, they need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Bro. Like, and I think that's why like an ice bath or some challenging thing is so cool, because I feel like when we comfortable with those uncomfortable things, that's when we're able to do those challenging things repetitively, which gets us, because change is uncomfortable.
It is, man.
Yeah, like we was talking about that earlier, but doing anything for the first time or whatever, like even turning on these cameras, bro, when you first do it, it's like it make you nervous, or you really can't talk like the way you want to talk. But after you do it so many times, you're comfortable doing it, and then you're natural on the camera.
Yeah.
So
change is inevitable, though, man.
Straight up.
Crazy. So it's like you might as well. It's a problem if you think you're gonna be the same person 5 years from now, and if you are, fam, something going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta switch it up, bro. Like, you got to, bro, because like at the end of the day, bro, I feel like we was all here to change. We all were born to evolve. We was never meant to stay the same. Right. So we were put here to evolve and to change physically, right? Mentally, we grow. Our intellect grows over time. Right. But like, what makes you think that you're supposed to like stay the same spiritually? Or emotionally, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to attract and become whatever that is you want to become, and it's okay if that dream you had 5 years ago didn't come true. All right, it's only changing. Your next dream is only changing because you changed, because you did, and that's okay. Just never stop working towards what it is that you want to get. You feel me? And I think that's what I say that because I practice that. You know what I'm saying? Like, at a point in my life when I was young, it's like, oh, okay, man, I want to do again. You know, like I just wanted to play sports. That was it. You know, I wanted to become. You know, I wanted to play basketball or football. But in the highest level is NBA, NFL. But as you get older, it's like, oh, okay, I go to college. Now I'm seeing other brothers do this and do that. Oh, okay, well, shoot, maybe I want to be like the CEO of a major company. You know what I'm saying? So you start doing the corporate thing, and then you get in it. And it's like, no, maybe I just want to have my own business. Right. You feel me? And so now you take this journey on as an entrepreneur. You don't never lose sight of who you are. You just changing your dream because you as a person have also changed. But you don't. That's why you just don't lose sight of your values and your morals. And I feel like we're all we will be okay. That's the point that I'm always trying to make. Is like, there's no point in like staying the same when we weren't meant to stay the same in the first place, bro. We just weren't. And I feel like if we did, it would be such a boring place. And I wish that more people would have, you know, like the curiosity of a child, but the wisdom and intellect of an adult, because that way I feel like it'd be more dreamers rather than, you know, more than there's so many warriors and people like worrying about what's happening today. It's like you can't worry and have faith at the same time. It don't work like that. You got to pick one or the other. It's like praying on your own downfall, right? Why ask for something and then worry that it's not going to happen? Nah, this is what I want to happen. This got to happen.
Right. Straight up.
But like, I'm not thinking about nothing else. If something else pivots from that, right? But this is the core idea. Right. This is what I need to happen. You feel me? I'm not going to ask for this and then sit here and be like, damn, this shit ain't happened yet. It's been like a year, bro. Right. Damn, now I'm sitting in the same spot. You feel me? Like, what else am I supposed to be doing? This is why I asked you, bro, because understanding, like, you know, being able to be so present. You're very present. You feel me? Like, that's not easy to do. It sounds easy. It appears to be easy. But people, we are taught from the time we were younger, education. I feel like education teaches you more about tomorrow than it does today. I feel like there's certain things that we do in life in general that we were taught that, you know what I mean, like that doesn't allow us to fully enjoy that present moment. You know what I'm saying? You have people telling you what to do rather than exploring and adventuring and figuring out on your own. You know, like we need to practice more skills like that rather than us a curriculum that we don't necessarily know even where it started from. You know, that may sound stupid, but I'm just saying, like, that's my perspective. And when you can practice being still, you can practice being like in your own skin and being comfortable with who you are and letting that shine through the lightest and the brightest that you can. I feel like that, my bro, like that is where really like when we can like shine the brightest, we can do our most, you know, diligent or honest, organic work, and like that's where really like gifts come about. You know what I mean? Like I feel like gifts take so long to come. Like people become millionaires and billionaires and stuff when they get older because we just wasn't given the resources and the time to figure it out when we was young. You know, we dreamed so much, we had no real. You know what I'm saying? Like, people telling us, what if we started? Just imagine. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could have sped this thing up like years ago. You know what I mean? But that's why I always say, like, just imagine having the curiosity of a child and the wisdom of an adult. And imagine what we can do. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we need to simplify everything. Just like dumb it down.
Yeah.
Like you trying to point A to point B, like practice. Do this. Like when you playing basketball, you trying to make it to the NBA. What's the fundamentals of basketball? Dribbling the ball, shooting the ball.
Yeah.
You practice those two things, passing the ball. You're going to be a beast.
Facts.
LeBron know how to dribble real good, shoot the ball, and pass the ball. That's it, bro. Dumb it down, bro. Basics. Master the basics, and this will get you where you want to go every time, bro.
That's a fact, bro. Every time, fam.
Straight up.
So, yeah, man. Nah, that's cool, bro. That's real cool. I think, why do you think not so many people try? Okay, I ain't going to say that. People travel. But we talked about this earlier. All right. Why is it that we have the hardest time finding people in our community that travel or is doing different things? You know, why is it so much easier to look onto someone else's culture and find that? Why isn't it highlighted in our culture?
I think it's like that's a great question, bro.
Yeah, man.
I think in art, because it ain't really about the money. It ain't really about because people broke. Because they got countries like Indonesia and all these other places where these people ain't got no money. Like in Russia, like these people are like literally, a lot of them don't have no money. Yes, there's people that have money, but a lot of them that don't. Yeah. And these people are everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not really about the money thing. It's more about just the mindset. Mm-hmm. And I think, the mindset I had when I was younger was like, just trying to impress the people in front of me and around me, and it wasn't really about me seeing the world for myself. Yeah. And I think that's one thing that I developed later on and from traveling. Yeah. And I would say that, and that's why we doing what we want to, what we doing, just to like really inspire those people to be like, yo, this shit is dope, like this shit cool, and I feel like the more people see it, they'll really like want to do it, because I'm telling you that music, a lot of the music they listen to, like I know that I was listening to before, ain't really cool. Like talking about like harming others or like messing up relationships or whatever, bro. That shit not cool no more. So I think just changing that mindset and realizing what's really important. Yeah. And helping others, like you saying, like that core principle. Yeah. Man. Like that's cool. Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Straight up, bro. Nah, I feel that 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? And I actually, because I genuinely feel that, financially is one thing, but like you said, the mindset is where like a lot of it lies and things like that. But some people have valid excuses and like there's restrictions, like families and things like that. But I'm kind of, I don't know, I can be a little bit crazy, but in the same thing, it's like I feel like you gotta be a little bit crazy to make your dreams come true.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? So like what I mean by that is if you're a man or woman and you have maybe several kids and you feel like that's your reason for holding you back, I don't think that's the reason for holding you back. I think that's all the more reason to make it happen. Right. You feel me?
How you look at it. It's mindset.
It's just a perspective. It's how you change it, because if anything that you aspire to want or anything that you feel like you should have, there's no reason on this earth that's why you shouldn't have it. There's no person that's going to tell you that you can't have it or you can't do it. And if there is a person that said it, I mean, like, look at them and look at you. You feel me? It's like, don't never knock your own thought or your own dream or your own aspiration for whatever it is you see yourself as, because what somebody else thinks of you or how they see you. Because at the end of the day, like, there's no real validity in that. Right? Now, if your situation is challenging, that's okay, because we all got challenges. We all got obstacles. We all overcome something, but just look at it as more of like a blessing that we have that challenge, because it could be different. It could be worse. But let's take this opportunity to change the perspective on how we look at our situation.
Like, there's not problems.
It's no problems, bro.
Situations, challenges, and opportunities.
That's it, bro.
Sit.
Straight up, bro. That's it, bro. Because I'm telling you, that's how you gotta see it, bro. Because if you don't, straight up, man, bro, it can really, I feel like it can really, like, hinder a lot of people. You feel me? And I don't like the way, like, I'm only saying this because I'm speaking from my own perspective. Like, I'm talking to myself too. It's like, it takes so much to get to a place of pure joy and just being happy and understanding that, okay, it doesn't matter what I do or what I go through, I can do anything and everything that I know and I feel in my core, like what I want to do. there's nobody, there's nothing that's gonna stop me or my family or nothing from accomplishing what I've set out to do in the first place. You know, like if that was the case, it wouldn't have came to me like this. So like I think because I was thinking about that when we were talking the other day, and I'm just like, man, you know, like what is the real reason that we don't see so many of us traveling the way that at least I want to see it? You feel me? And like, and looking at it and being, before you come to Bali, you always hop on YouTube and see certain stuff, but it's a lack thereof, and you want to be, again, the example, or maybe fill that void, right? But there's only so much maybe inspiration can do. I think if you change your perspective and just switch the lens around, be like, okay, I got 2 kids. If you have 2 kids, okay, how can I do this and reverse engineer it, right? Oh, I got this job and it's only paying so much, but okay, maybe I, you know, don't go out a couple weekends, save up for these flight tickets. Right. Boom, I'm gonna research how much it really is to live over here.
It's like that action, bro. You just gotta put in that action. You put in that action, it gives you them results, right?
Yeah.
Results equals success. I know a lot of times people may think that like success is, you know, this crazy high climb. Like, nah, it ain't that end goal. It's literally just doing those little things, like the climb, right?
Yeah.
And then by doing those results, that gives you those successes that we're looking for a lot of times, like booking that flight and doing those things. You know?
Yeah.
Just put in that action.
Yeah, man. And you said it, bro. Like, but here's the thing. People measure success by other people's success.
Straight up.
You feel me? And it's like, and it goes back to the fact of, again, gratitude, being good for where you are and who you are right now. But measure them success like you just said, them small wins.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just see how life and things change when you start focusing on the little wins you're doing for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that for me is what kind of helps propel you to get to that end goal. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy the moment and the joy of booking that first international flight. Right? Continue to manifest and dwell and feel the emotion and energy of being on the beach, knowing like, okay, I'm gonna be here and I don't know when I'm coming back. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, soaking that. That's your moment. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy everything that, like, before it comes to be. And then I feel like it makes everything else so much more enjoyable when it actually happens. You feel me? But people look at success like, dang, they're doing this. Why can't I be doing that too right now? But it's like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever's for you is for you. And when that time happens, it's going to be greater than whatever it is you think they're possibly doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what's so unique about life in general and people. That's why I love people. I love talking. I love being like, at least talking to like individuals who, you know, have something to be said. It's more like we all got a story. Right. You know what I'm saying? We all got a story. We all got a movie. We all directing. We all figuring out our own way in life. Right. And so however we write this thing is completely up to us. You know, you got so many things that happen in life. Right. And we only control one thing. How we react to it. You know, you can't control people. You can't control some things that happen. If people die, if people come into you, people be mad to you, man, look, you can choose to react. Right. You know, look, being mad is an emotion. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't gotta be mad. Right. You know, you just choose to be. Right. So like, if that's the way you want to act, that's the way you want to feel. Okay, like that's more about you than the other person. Right. He probably did some bullshit. Or she probably was bullshit, but hey, man, at the end of the day, it probably triggered you, but you still can control it. You know what I'm saying? How you react to it. And that's all we can, bro.